I was thinking as Mayor Daley's retiring, look, this guy has never been out of public office in most of his adult life. His dad died in office, so he has sort of no role model for how you deal with life after office. He's been this big, important guy. So how is he going to go on with his life? How's he going to feel on Tuesday morning when he's not in office anymore and, The View is over? And what's he going to watch next? What's he going to do next? And so I thought I should talk to the other politicians who have been through this, Jane Byrne and, Big Jim Thompson and all the way to Roland Burris, and sort of ask them how they felt. And I was sheepish about it because nobody cares about how people feel, how politicians feel in Chicago.
I don't believe that.
Except, who does? The politicians care. And so when I talked to Roland Burris about this, he wanted to talk at length. Jim Edgar wanted to talk at length about this. He talked about the first days he was out of office. He talked about how for the first 2 months he had to get out of town, and he went to Arizona, and he had to relearn how to drive, and he drove all the way out to Arizona, and his car broke down, and he was like all alone out there, and how he couldn't have been able to be here because it would have been driving him crazy to see another governor doing his job. They talked about what it was really like when things really go on without you. You think you're the center of the universe. You are the center of the universe for 4 years or 8 years, and all of a sudden, it just goes on without you. Nobody really speculates about Daley because Daley's a creature of a kind. I mean, I got no great insight on Daley from all these people knew him, obviously, and they had advice for him. They told him said he ought to take some time off, read a good book, get out of town, But it's you're laughing because it's kind of hard to imagine Daley reading a book, but it's kind of hard to imagine him doing anything but what he does. Well, so I came from Cleveland. I grew up in Cleveland in the 1970s. Our mayor was Dennis Kucinich. The river was on fire. The whole town was on its ass. I remember my mother looking at the TV and seeing Dennis Kucinich, like with the river burning in the background, and saying, "My God, he's just a baby!" So the mayor in Cleveland was always in big trouble. That was just the definition. Mayor in Cleveland means you're in big trouble. And I just thought that's what all big cities' mayors are like. Big cities are a mess. No matter what the city, the schools are going bad. Everything's messed up. Something's falling down or rusting out or some terrible thing's happening at all times. So I came to Chicago, and I got here a week after I moved here, or the week I moved here, the entire river flooded. It was 1992 when the river flooded the entire loop. And I was like, yeah, that's what happens in cities, and the mayor's going to be in trouble. Except the mayor wasn't in trouble. The mayor was fine, and everybody was kind of blaming everybody else. And some poor jamoke got blamed for the whole thing, because he didn't tell his supervisor that there was a leak. And the mayor was like scot free, and people were, and I would say, like, why does the mayor not ever get blamed for anything around here? And people would sort of hem and haw, and then finally they'd say, well, you think you could do better? That was the idea of Chicago. That's the mayor of Chicago. So I thought. I couldn't believe that. And so over the years, everybody sort of develops, I think, a relationship with Mayor Daley. You see him go off. You sort of relate to him at press conferences when he gets tired of the reporters and he just starts saying insane things. Like there was something. I saw him in person a few times. There's some charming qualities about him personally. He's really sort of seems shy actually when he goes to throw out the first pitch at a little league baseball game and stuff. There's something sort of adorable about Mayor Daley, even though I don't know that people who work for him feel that way. But so I don't think there's anything adorable about Rahm Emanuel at this point. So I think he'll be missed. I think he'll be missed in a lot of ways. Yeah. I do, because I think there's just something. There's this idea that he loves Chicago, and I think his father is even appreciated for loving this town. There's that idea that these guys love Chicago. They are Chicago, and you just kind of get the feeling that Rahm Emanuel could manage Atlanta just as easily as he could have managed Chicago, and so there's just not that personification of our weird city in the mayor's office now, and maybe he'll grow into that, and maybe we'll identify with him in that way. But I just think, yeah, I got into an argument about this with somebody who, thinks can't wait for Daley to get out of there. Goodbye to good riddance, and I just honestly don't personally feel that way.